All right, so let's find an easy seated posture. You can be cross-legged or you can stretch your legs out in front. You can see I'm elevated on a block, so if you have one and that feels good to you, you're welcome to do that. And if you are at home and you want to use a pillow or a cushion or maybe a book, that works too. And we'll take these first few minutes to settle in. Let our focus and attention move away from any worries, any concerns from our day. See if instead we can let our focus and attention be on what's really actually happening right now in this moment. And we can use all of our senses to welcome this moment. Noticing what we see. Even if you choose to close your eyes, you might see colors or shapes. Noticing what you hear, smell, taste. Noticing what you physically feel about yourself in this moment. Maybe you notice the surface below you where you're being supported. You're aware of the sensation of the air, clothing where it touches skin. And letting that awareness come into sensing the body itself. Aware of your muscles, your bones, your joints, your organs. With that awareness, if there's places that you feel ease or tension, comfort or discomfort, and you want to make small movements or adjustments to find a little more comfort, a little more ease, you're welcome to do that. You can start to settle back into stillness. Notice that you're breathing. And of course, you've been breathing this whole time. See if you can sense what the breath feels like. You don't even need to change anything. You're aware of the rise and fall of the chest and belly. You can sense the air moving past your nostrils or your lips. As you're breathing, welcoming any intention or focus that you have for your practice today. Perhaps your intention is to stay focused on your breath or keep your mind focused on this present moment. To join me, my intention today is to welcome joy. One more breath here, one more inhale, one more exhale. And then if you want to take a deep breath, filling the lungs up with air from the bottom to the top. Front to back, side to side, lungs are full of air, and exhale, we can let that go with a sigh. If you want to do that again, you can. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling, letting it go. And we can move out of our seated posture and come over onto our hands and knees. So you can do that rocking right over the knees if that feels good to you, or you can walk your hands to one side and walk around. If you need a little extra cushion for your knees, you can put a towel or a blanket there, or maybe double up the mat. We're going to bring the knees right underneath the hips. And see if we can bring the wrists right underneath the shoulders, fingertips spread wide, pointing middle finger towards the front of the mat. Arms are strong so that we're lifted, we're pressing against the earth, but we don't need to lock out our elbows. We don't want to rest in our joints. We want to feel those muscles of the arms and the chest and the shoulders all activate to keep us lifted. And we also want to use the muscles right behind our navel, pulling those in gently so that the spine can stay long. And let's take a breath here and notice what that feels like. Long spine, supported by our strength in our arms, our chest, our back, our abdomen. And then we'll start to warm up the spine. Inhaling, now we let the belly soften. We lift the tailbone, we lift the collarbones, we look up. And exhale, we round. Rounding the shoulders, doming up the back, tucking the tailbone, arms are still strong. And let's roll through that a few times, through our cat-cow. You can go at your own rhythm. So if you're not the same rhythm as me, that's fine. Exhale, cat. Inhale, back to cow. Let's do a couple more. Maybe one more round. One more inhale. One more exhale. And then let's come back to long spine, flat back. So we're squaring off again. And let's stretch the right leg back behind us. And we're going to tuck the toe under and let that energy from the leg move all the way through the heel. And I'm going to turn to the side because I want you to see this. We're tucking the toe and sending that energy through the heel like it's coming to the wall behind you. And so you may already feel some sensation in your legs. If you want to intensify that sensation, you can experiment here. Press into the palms of your hands, into your fingertips, and then imagine you're going to try to slide your hands towards the front of the mat. They're not going to go anywhere. What's going to happen is your shoulders are going to start to shift behind your hands, and all that energy is going to come along the back of the body and through that leg. You feel that intensification. You can dial that in as much or as little as you need. So if that's a little too much, you can back it off a little. One more breath. And then let's all back that off a little bit. We're going to take that right foot and pick it up and bring it over to the left. So we're crossing over that left heel, and then we're doing a side bend. We're looking over the left shoulder at the right foot that's now on our left side. Feeling we can open up through that right side body. Let's take a few breaths here. One more breath. Let's turn back to the center. And we're going to take that foot back behind us and then keep going out to the side. And I'm going to turn to face you again. So we're going to bring that right foot all the way out to the right. So the right foot is lined up pretty much with that left knee. We're pressing down through the outside edge of the right foot, pointing the toes forward. And then let's start to walk our hands back. You can use a block here if you want. You don't need to, but if it helps you get up on that knee, go ahead. So we're going to stand on that left knee. Right leg is stretched out to the side. We're going to do some more side bending here. So we're going to slide the right hand down the right leg. Feel that openness in the left side body. Inhale back to center. Exhale, slide left hand down, left leg. Work the side bend to the other side. Inhale back to center. You can repeat exactly what we did before, or if you want to lift that left arm overhead, you can add that in. Totally up to you. Inhale back to center. Again, you can do exactly what we did before and leave that left hand here, or you can reach the right arm overhead. You can even take that left arm out with the block or without. Just depends on where you want to go. Let's do that one more time. Inhale back to center. Side bend to the right. Inhale back to center and side bend to the left. Inhale back to center. And let's bring our hands back down to the mat. Walk them out. Slide that right leg behind us. Bring the right knee down. We're back in tabletop. We're going to do that whole sequence on the other side. So this time stretching the left foot back. And again, you can tuck that toe under. Feel that energy come all along the back side of the body through the heel. And if you want to intensify that, you can start that pressure through the hands, activate the arms, and let that energy transfer all the way along the back side of the body through that left heel. Breathing here. One more breath. Maybe back off that intensity a little bit. Take that left foot over the right. And we're going to do that side bend, looking over right shoulder at our left foot. Breathing here. Inhale, release back to center. We'll slide that left foot all the way out to the left. Root down through the outside edge of that left foot and start to walk our hands back until we can stand up on that right knee nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. We'll do a couple more of those. Inhale, center. Again, you can add those variations or not. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. More time. Inhale and exhale and inhale. Let's come back down. Leg back behind us, back in that tabletop. And then we're going to move through another sequence of movements. So we'll start in tabletop and our hips are right over our knees. And we're going to keep our hips where they are and start to slide the hands forward and bring our forehead down to the mat. So similar to child's pose, but we're going to keep the hips high instead of dropping them back, and we're going to keep the elbows high so the arms are active. We're pressing into the fingertips. And let's imagine we're bringing our chest down towards the mat as much as we can to open up through that thoracic spine. And then let's imagine that we're turning our biceps towards each other like we're trying to rotate them up to the ceiling. Feel what happens with our shoulder blades. Posture has a couple different names. I like puppy pose because it reminds me of a puppy that wants to play. One more breath. Let's look up, drop our elbows down so the forearms are on the mat, and we're going to shift forward so that our shoulders are right over our elbows and drop our hip points down to the mat into a Sphinx posture. So our thighs and the tops of our feet are resting on the mat, and we're lifting through the chest. Opening up through the chest. And again, here's another opportunity. If you want to add more intensity, press down through the palms of the hands, through the forearms and the elbows. And then imagine you're trying to pull those elbows back to your hip points and feel how you open up more in the chest there. And again, you can dial in that intensity so that you can breathe and get the openness that works for you. One more breath. And then let's shift the hips up and back. Lift the elbows, and let's find that puppy pose again. Active arms. See what happens if you draw that belly back towards the spine. One more breath. Let's look up, drop the elbows, come back to Sphinx. We're dropping those hip points all the way down to the mat, lifting through the chest. You can come back to puppy pose again if you want, or this time, you want to slide the hands back a little bit farther. You can tuck the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips, and come into downward facing dog. And if you do choose to come into downward facing dog, remember that sensation you felt in puppy when you lifted the hips high to the sky and brought the chest towards the floor. Only this time, think about bringing your chest towards your thigh. And then feel that sensation, rotating those biceps in towards each other up to the sky. Do you feel that same sensation in your shoulder blades? One more breath. If you're in that downward facing dog, let's come into plank. Shoulders are right over wrists. Let's lower the knees down. Let's bend the elbows, hug them back towards our waist. Chest is just between our hands. We're going to press the tops of our feet, our thighs, our hip bones down. Draw our shoulder blades down our back, lift the chest. We're not even going to press into the hands. Little baby cobra here. You can float the hands up if you want. One more breath. Let's bring the hands down. Press back again. And let's come again into downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths. You want to walk that out and bend one knee and then the other. Do that. And then let's bend both knees. Step the feet a little wider and walk the hands and feet together until we're in forward fold. Hands can be on the mat or a block, or you can press against the front of the legs. Or if you like hanging, you can grab the elbows and sway a little. Let's check in with our neck and shoulders. If they are engaged, lifting the top of the head up, let the top of your head be heavy. See if you can release that tension in the neck and shoulders. Maybe shake your head yes or shake your head no. And let's come back to being still if you're moving. Bring hands to the hips, bend the knees, lower the hips. Let the weight shift to your heels. Let's activate the thighs and come up to standing. We can shake that out. All right. We're going to work a little bit on strength while we're standing. So let's find our feet about hips distance apart. So stacking the ankle joints, the knees, and those hip joints so that we can have a nice strong foundation. The toes are pointing forward. And let's feel from the bottom up, the feet rooting down into the earth. Feel the heels, the outside edges, and the big toes press down into the earth. And as you press down, feeling that activation in the muscles of the legs, that energizing feeling, and let that energizing feeling moving up the legs, up the side of the body. So the spine is long, and continue to move all the way up the spine through the top of the head. So we're pressing down, activating, and getting nice and tall like a mountain. And we're going to balance that powerful, energizing feeling with a sense of ease. So starting at the top and working down, thinking about that space in the forehead and the eyebrows. If we're holding on to tension there, and we let that soften. Checking in with the jaw, holding on to any tension there. See if we can let that go. If our shoulders have started to creep up by our ears, we can drop them down. Arms are at our sides at ease. But let's go ahead and rotate the biceps and the palms to face forward. And notice how that rotates our shoulders so that we're not rounding forward, and lets us slide the shoulder blades down the back. Let's check in with our knees. If they are rigid, let's let them soften just a little bit. So we're still strong, but we don't have to be rigid. And then let's take a breath here. Notice how this feels. Powerful, energized, yet at ease. You bring back in that sense of focus or intention for today's practice. Let's do another flow here. Start some movement. Inhaling, reaching arms overhead. Exhaling, bringing hands to heart. Inhaling to back bend. So lifting the chest, letting the hip points come forward. If it's comfortable for your neck, you can look up. Keep my gaze forward because I have a neck injury. And then exhale, hinging through the hips. Let's fold forward. Knees can bend, hands can come down to the mat or the front of the legs. And then soften the knees a little bit more. Let's come halfway up. So see if we can find that same long spine we had in tabletop. Hands can be supported on the front of your thighs. They can be at your heart. Feeling that same firmness in the core so that you can have the spine extended from the tailbone to the top of the head. And then the next exhale, let's soften the knees and fold forward again. In fact, let's lower the hips a little bit. Let the chest come as close to the thighs as you're able. And keep the hips here. Lift the chest up. Inhale into chair. And again, you can keep hands on the thighs for support. You can keep them at heart center, or you can reach them in front. Let's take a couple breaths here. One more breath. Pressing down through the heels, drop the arms, inhale, come back up. Let's take a couple breaths. We're going to do that same flow again and add a twist. So inhale, reaching up. Exhaling, hands to hearts. Inhaling, back bend. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, halfway up, long spine here. And then exhale, let's bend the knees a little bit more. Lower the hips, let the weight shift to the heels a bit. Chest comes near the thighs. Keep the hips here. Let's lift the chest up, open through the chest. And then here we come into that twist. Let's twist to the left. Hands can come to the outside of the hip, or you can open the arms up. If you want hands at heart center, you can bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. Just make sure whatever variation you're in, the spine is long and that you can breathe. Breaths here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, other side. Checking in with those knees. Sometimes when we twist, the left knee will start to creep in front of the right knee. That means we're twisting our hips more than we're spiraling the spine. Can you pull that knee and hip back so that they're even? That way we're twisting through the spine. One more breath. Inhale, back to the middle. Press the heels down. Inhale, come back. And we can shake that out. We're going to work a little bit on balance while we're standing. If you want to stay on your mat, you can. If you want to move off your mat to a more stable surface, you can. You can also come near a wall or a sturdy table if you want some support nearby. Once again, come into that sense of stillness in our mountain posture. See if we can find that again. Find that sense of rooting down, feeling energized and powerful, while at the same time finding that sense of ease. Recall that sense in the body. You find a point in front of you that you can focus on, a point that's not moving. And we'll start to let the weight shift into the left foot. Pick up the right heel, bend the right knee, and then we're going to open that right leg out to the side. So we're opening up through that right hip crease. You can make a kickstand here with the right heel over the left ankle. This is a beautiful tree. Don't need to do anything else. If you want to try some other options, maybe slide that right foot a little further up the left leg, you can. Just make sure you're either at a point below the knee or above the knee. You don't want to press against the side of the knee. It's okay if you wobble coming into something else. It's okay if you have to change your mind or put your foot down and catch yourself. Every time we wobble or make a correction, we're getting stronger. Take a couple more breaths here. Bring that right knee back in front. Give it a little lift. And then place the right foot down. If you want to give that left leg a little gratitude for working so hard, go ahead. And let's find our way back to stillness in that mountain posture so that we can move to the other side. Resetting here. Yeah, a couple breaths to rest before we challenge ourselves on the other side. And then start to let the weight shift to the right foot. Pick up the left heel. Be finding that kickstand again. Coming into another option. Being aware of what you're experiencing in this moment. It may be completely different than the other side. It may be more challenging, it may be less challenging. You can welcome what's happening right now without any judgment. One more breath. Turn that left knee back to the front. Give that knee a little lift. And then lower the foot down. Again, we can shake that out a little. And let's stay standing, but take our feet just a little bit wider. Let the toes open up a little wider than the heels. We're going to do a breathing practice while we're standing. This is called breath of joy. So I'll talk you through the breath first and then we'll add the movement. So the breath is through pursed lips, kind of like we're about to breathe in through a straw. Like if you had a straw and you were sucking the air in. So we do the inhale real quick, small inhale, like a sip of air. And then without letting that go, we do another sip of air. And without letting that go, we do another sip of air. So it's 1, 2, 3, inhale, inhale, inhale. And then the exhale is a big letting go. We just let everything go. So let's try that together with just the breath, and then I'll show you the movements. So it's inhale, 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 exhale, let it go. All right. And now we're going to add the movement. So the movement is inhale, we let the arms come out to the sides. Inhale, we lift them up in the front. Inhale, they come out to the sides. And when we exhale, it's kind of like someone's cutting the strings of a puppet. We just sort of let all our joints loosen up. All right. So let's do this together. So it's inhale, 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 exhale, let it go. You can even come all the way down and make a little noise if that feels good. And then we come back up nice and easy. We're going to do that again. So inhale, 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 exhale, let it go. All right. One more time. This time I'm not going to call out the inhale. I'm just going to do it with you. All right. Ready? All right. Excellent, my friends. All right. Let's stay standing. We're going to do a little bit more movement and bring in a warrior series. So we're going to keep the feet wide. In fact, we're going to take them a little wider. So I'm going to step back here to my other mat. And I'm going to try to step the feet so wide that if I have my arms extended, the ankles come about right underneath where my wrists are. So maybe a little wider than feels like your typical stance. And we're going to turn the toes to point to the front. So our body is centered over our hips. Our chest and our toes are all pointing the same direction. And let's inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring hands to the hips. And then inhale, do a back bend here. Let the hip points come forward, lift the chest up. And then from those open hip flexors, we're gonna hinge forward. So we've opened them, and now we're gonna close them. We're gonna come into a half forward fold. So again, nice long spine, just coming halfway down. Bend the knees a little bit. See if you can get balance between the front of the foot, the ball of the foot, and the heel of the foot. You may even rock a little bit back and forth just to get that sense of where are you balanced between front and back. One more breath. Let's bend the knees even more. Press to the outside edges of the feet. Activate the thighs. Back up to standing. Beautiful. Let's keep the legs here. Keep the body facing the front and lift the arms out, stretching fingertip to fingertip. And then we're going to take the right foot and we're going to pivot. Turn the toes to face towards the right side of our mat. And if we took a quick glance down, our right heel, if we drew a line straight back, should line up with about the middle of our left foot. So that's going to help with balance. And then we're going to start to bend that right knee. We're keeping our body centered over the pelvis. We're not reaching forward or back. We're staying centered. We're bending that knee. It can come as far as being right over our ankle. If it doesn't come quite that far, it's fine. You can have it back here a little. But if you notice that it's coming way out over your ankle, maybe back off a little, or maybe wiggle that right foot out a little bit more to give yourself some more space. Once you settle into that, let's take a quick glance down at that right knee. Sometimes when we turn the body one direction and have the leg opening the other direction, and make that hip flexor want to not work so hard, and that knee will sort of drift in. So we're going to use the strength in our thigh, the strength in our seat, and we're going to pull that knee so that it's back in line with that second and third toe, and you're going to feel that openness here. Here we go. Once you feel that, let's turn and look over our right shoulder. Take a couple breaths here in Warrior Two. And let's turn that right palm to the sky. Keep the legs right where they are. They're not going to change. We are going to tilt the body back. So we're opening through the right body, lifting right hand to the air. Left hand can stay on your hip, or it can start to slide down that left leg. Keeping that left leg strong and straight by pressing into the outside edge of that left foot. Feel how that activates the thigh and lifts the knee. One more breath. Inhale back to Warrior Two. Straighten that knee, turn toes back to the front. We're going to do another forward fold here. Inhale. Let's come forward. Exhale. Let's fold. You can hug hands to the back of the legs. Maybe use those biceps to hug the chest in a little closer to the thighs. Release the arms back out to the sides. Bend the knees. Press to the outside edges of the feet. Inhale back up. And let's do that Warrior Series on the other side. So we're going to turn the left toes to face to the left. Body facing to the front, staying centered. Let's bend that left knee. Making sure we have a good alignment with that heel to the inside of the other foot. And a good alignment with that knee over those toes. Feel that activation in our legs that lets us keep that alignment and lets us open through those joints. And then we can turn and look over the left shoulder. Let's take a couple breaths here. Turning left palm to the sky. Keeping those legs strong. Let's tilt the torso back. Left hand lifts. Breathe here. Reverse warrior or peaceful warrior. Inhale, back to Warrior Two. Straighten that front leg, turn the toes back to the front. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, we can bring our hands behind our back. Maybe interlace the fingers and draw the knuckles down towards the earth, or maybe grab the wrists or the forearms. Whatever allows you to really draw those shoulder blades together and lift the chest, little back bend here. And then exhale, let's hinge forward one more time. The fingers are interlaced. You can draw those fingers up towards the sky. Whenever you're ready, you can release them down to the earth. We're all going to come there in just a moment. And let's release. Bring hands down, soften the knees, and step back. We can take a little break. If you want to come back into child's pose or some other posture that gives you a sense of comfort and ease, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to cool off a little bit here on the mat. Get ready to have our guided meditation here at the end of our practice. So maybe one more breath here in child's pose, and then let's come back up. And let's turn on our mat, centering our seat about midway on the mat. Bending the knees, feet are on the mat. And then we're going to slowly lower down with control and see if we can use those muscles of our core to come down. So you can use your hands behind your thighs to support you, or maybe on the mat to support you. We're not going to come all the way down. We're going to come about part of the way down. So your hands can be back here. Find what works for your back and lets you keep your spine long. And maybe take the feet out a little wider to the edges of the mat. So our knees are still bent. And we're going to do kind of a gentle twist here to open up the hips and just a little bit of work in our spine. So the knees can fall to one side. Inhale, come back to the middle. Exhale, the other side. Go ahead and move back and forth at your own pace, kind of like windshield wipers. Again, if you need to shift a little bit or change the way that you're supported with your arms, you can. And then this next time, let's let the legs come all the way over to the left. So both legs are bent. Left foot is sort of lined up with your right knee. And go ahead and arrange that so that it works for you. So your angles might look a little different than mine. That's okay. And then once you're settled in with your legs, we're going to take that right arm up and over. So here we're adding a twist. So your right hand and your left hand are both going to be above your left thigh. And you can stay here just like this. This is already a twist. You want your spine to be long here and you want to be able to breathe. But if it feels good to you to lower this down, you can maybe walk the hands out a little further. Maybe bend the elbows. And again, if you're at home and you want to use a pillow or a rolled up blanket and drape yourself over it, sometimes that can feel really restorative. So feel free to make this your own. Let's take a couple breaths here. You could also cross the arms and rest your forehead there or on the block. One more breath. You've come down a little closer to the earth. Let's go ahead and walk the hands back up again. Okay. And that right arm back behind us. Bring the knees back to center. And then let the knees come to the other side. So again, go ahead and take some time to transition. Find angles that work for you. And then we're going to swing that left arm up and over. And do that twist to the other side. And again, you can stay high or you can lower it down. Inhale if you're low. Let's walk the hands back. Walk ourselves back to center. And then lower the rest of the way down. If there's any other movement or any other shape that you want to come into so that you can feel supported and at ease, you're welcome to do that. And then once you feel like you're ready to rest, go ahead and find a posture where you can feel rested, supported, and at ease for about the next 15 minutes. And if you've not done a guided meditation before, I promise you, you can't do this wrong. I'm going to move a little closer so that it's easier to hear me. You can dim the lights if you want. You can use blankets or pillows to feel supported and warm. During the guided meditation part of this practice, if you want to close your eyes, you can. You don't have to. And once again, becoming aware of your breath. And if you've been controlling your breath during the physical part of our practice, you can let that control release. Come back to letting your body breathe its natural rhythm. Noticing again, the body breathes all on its own. There's nothing extra that you need to do. Breath comes and goes just as it is. During the meditation, you may drift in and out of consciousness. You may even fall completely asleep. That is okay. Just means you really needed the rest. You'll still get all the benefits of the meditation. Maybe becoming aware again of what you're sensing in the body. Checking in with the jaw, the shoulders, arms, the torso, the legs. If there's any adjustments or movements that you need to make yourself just a little bit more at ease, a little more supported now or anytime during the meditation, you're welcome to make that adjustment. Letting your senses be open to the environment around you, the sounds around you, the sounds outside the room or inside the room. And notice that you can let those sounds be far away. There's nothing you need to do about any of them right now. Welcoming the sensation of warmth or coolness where the air touches your skin. Sensations where your body is being supported by the surface below. Maybe beginning to feel a sense of letting go, being at ease in your body and mind. Let's explore that a little bit more by bringing attention to what we call your inner resource. Your inner resource is that felt sense within your body where you experience the feeling of being secure, strong and at ease, a sense of wellness or a sense of being grounded. And if it's helpful, you can imagine a place, person, maybe a pet or some experience that you've had that supports you to feel secure and at ease in this moment. You can use all of your senses to enhance this experience. Sounds, sights, sensations, smells and tastes that invite ease and well-being to your entire body and mind. As you begin to develop this sense of your inner resource, realize that this always exists within you. You can come back to it whenever you want, day or night, this practice. You need to take a time out to rest, restore, or feel fully secure and at ease. Bring to mind your intention for your practice. Maybe to rest deeply, to welcome a sense of joy, you to feel secure and at ease with yourself. Whatever your intention, feel and affirm it within you as though it were already true. Allow that intention to deepen and grow as it begins to develop into a sense of your heartfelt mission in life, or the feeling of life living you with meaning, purpose, and value. That deep sense of meaning, welcoming sensation as you rotate attention through your body. As I name each part of the body, simply notice what you experience there. It may be something, it may be little at all. Whatever you experience is perfect, just the way it is. Sensing your mouth. Sensing your ears. Without thinking, sensing nose, nostrils. Welcoming sensation in the eyes, forehead, crown of the head, back of the head, neck. Sensing the shoulders, following sensation down the arms, across the back of the hands, off the fingertips. Sensing the palms of the hands. Sensing the chest and belly, upper and lower back, the entire torso as sensation without thinking, simply experiencing. Alert and awake to sensation in the pelvis, seat, hips. Following sensation down the legs, the tops of the feet, up to the tips of the toes. Sensing the soles of the feet. Sensing now the entire body. Whole body all at once, alive with sensation. Attention open to sensation. Open to everything that is present in your awareness. Be aware of the body breathing itself. Natural flow of air and sensation in the nostrils, throat, chest, belly. While noting the body breathing itself, beginning to count backward from 7 like this. Inhale 7, exhale 7. Inhale 6, exhale 6, and so on. And if you lose count or if you make your way to 0, simply start again at 7. Body is breathing itself. Sensing, counting backward from 7. The next exhale, releasing counting. Coming back to sensing everything that is present in your awareness. Welcoming any sensations that are present. Welcoming any emotions that are present. Remember, if you ever need to take a break from what you're sensing, you can come back to that felt sense of ease and well-being in your inner resource. When you're ready, you can come back to what you're experiencing in this moment. Sensations, emotions, perhaps noticing and welcoming various thoughts that are present. Noticing how all these experiences are coming and going in your awareness. Rising and falling in awareness, just like the breath rises and falls in the body. Nothing you need to do. Noting you're the observer of everything that's in your awareness. Awake and aware, observing sensations, emotions, and thoughts. Observing without trying to change anything. Everything just as it is. Now welcoming the experience of joy or happiness in your body, or recall a memory, a particular person, place, animal, or circumstance that invites joy or happiness into your body. Noticing how you experience joy. Does it start like a sensation, like an inner smile or a warm glow? Is it a sound, smell, a sensation, taste? Noticing where it starts in the body. And imagine it expanding from where it starts to every part of the body. Whole body becoming alive with the experience of joy or happiness. Every cell in the body alive, experiencing joy or happiness. Radiating your body, your face, your torso, your arms, your legs. If it feels right, you can take a few moments while sensing joy or happiness. Welcome in the felt sense of your inner resource. Feeling secure, grounded, and at ease. Note how you're the observer of all that's now present in your awareness. Awake, aware, sensations, emotions, thoughts, joy. Observing without trying to change anything. Everything just as it is. Allowing yourself as an observer to dissolve into the feeling of simply being. There's nothing you need to do. There's nowhere you need to be. Allowing yourself to dissolve into being awareness. Awake, aware, at ease. Everything just as it is. Sensing yourself as whole, complete, connected to that part of yourself that is untouched by any experience you've ever had. Connected to the world around you, connected to all of life. As you're resting here, if it feels right, take a few moments to welcome in the felt sense of your inner resource, feeling secure, grounded, and at ease. Welcome to rest here as long as you'd like. When you're ready to come back into your day, make small movements or stretch. Maybe deepen your breath or take a deep breath and let it go with a sigh. Still feeling that sense of wholeness. Affirming again your inner resource of well-being. Heartfelt mission or that felt sense of life living you with meaning, purpose, and value. You can affirm any intentions you wish to take with you into your daily life or into your next practice that support you in realizing and living your heartfelt mission. Affirm the truth that in every moment, you always have the resources you need to respond to each situation and circumstance in your life. Our meditation is complete. And you can stay here if you want to come out of your meditation. You're welcome to.